Yes, in the wake of the judgment of what do you call it, the Delhi rape murder case, Nirbhai's case,
Nearby.
there was a lot of outcry in the country, and the parliament decided to amend the law and make provision that a child who is above 16, maybe between 17 and 18, can be tried like an adult. But for reason best known, of course, that bill was passed on the 31st December 2015, and it received the consent of the president on 1st January 2016. But unfortunately, they have not amended the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Children's Act 2015. There is no amendment in section 213, that is child in conflict of law. It remains to be 18 years of age and not 16 years, number one. And they also not discuss and define what is a heinous crime. They are not given any illustration. Section 233. This is also not amended. In fact, the Honorable Supreme Court, Justice Gupta and Justice Bose, in a judgment given in January 2020, you may recall that year, they had given direction to the central government that please give illustrations of the heinous offenses. What according to you are heinous offenses, what offenses are not. If Mansi can take out the directions of the Supreme Court given by Justice Anirudh Bose and Justice, yes, I'll be grateful to you. And in the wake of the judgment of the Supreme Court, that is January 2020, the central government constituted a committee, Justice Gupta and Justice Bose directions. What are the pacha? Yes. So the Supreme Court expresses displeasure in the manner in which the act is sought to be amended, how the child can be tried like an adult. It was beyond comprehension. They said, you please give illustration. Now, as a result of this judgment, the Honorable Law Minister, the Honorable Child Minister, as well as the other ministers sat together, and they are still confabulating, holding inquiries to find out. Now, what exactly is amended in this year is not the definition of a child, nor the definition of heinous offenses. They introduce in section 15 and 18 of the JJ Act. Section 18 says that here, the board will hold inquiry to determine the age of the person, whether he is above 16. Then if he is above 16, he will be tried like an adult under subsection 3 of section 18. Under subsection 318 check, where the board, after preliminary assessment under 15, passes an order that there is a need for trial of the child, an adult, then the board may order transfer of a trial of the case to Children's Court, having jurisdiction to try such offenses. This is the only offense. Again, section 18 may, when you see they use the word heinous crime, where a board satisfied on inquiry that a child, irrespective of age, has committed the petty offenses, serious offenses, child below the age of 16 years, has committed a heinous offense. Again, heinous offense is not defined. So the direction, let us wait and see. According to me, there are lacunas in the act. This is an incomplete. So as on today, you must go on with the proposition that the definition, there is no change in definition with a child in conflict of law, and the child remains 18 years of age from the date of the commission of the offense. Justice Mridula Bhatkar of the Bombay High Court declined to award heinous punishment to a child who had committed an offense under section 307 in the year 2018. That you will find it also, it is there on the net. So the courts are not happy with the legislation. Okay, that will solve the problem of the query raised by the student, which according to me a very, very important inquiry. Very important inquiry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now today we'll now get down to business. Now probably the last lecture, please. Hopefully, you won't insist for one more lecture. Let's see that April 2015. Mansi, please take down 2015. 2015 definition, inquiry, this we already dealt. I won't go through again. Now, second, what do you mean by judicial proceedings? Huh? Question number B. Yeah. Now, this answer is judicial proceeding includes a proceeding in the course of which evidence or may be legally taken on oath. Section 2I. Only judicial magistrates, metropolitan magistrate can hold judicial proceeding and not the executive magistrate. Please note that executive magistrate are mostly senior police officers. They are executive officers before whom even the provisions of Evidence Act do not apply before them. So this is the definition 2I, bear in mind. Then definition of victim, 2C. Victim means a person who has suffered loss or injury caused by reason of the act or omission on which the accused person has been charged, and the expression victim includes a guardian or legal heir under section 2WA of the CRPC. Please bear in mind, this is the very wide definition. After the death of a victim doesn't mean the complaint doesn't abate. The legal guardian, legal heirs have a right to make an application to the court that we may be substituted as persons who are entitled to. No, there is no specific provision into the act, like unlike the CPC under Order 22, Rule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, till 9, where substitution of heirs take place. The CRPC, but definition tells you that it is the intention of the Parliament to include the guardian and legal heirs after the death of the victim. There are several Supreme Court judgments in that regard. Please go to that here. Now, again, what is D is a warrant case. We already discussed this. We won't waste time. That is section 2X, define offense. This also has been discussed. That is under section 2.9, no need. Then what do you mean by investigation? 2H, we already discussed this. We won't be wasting time in this. Then what do you mean by adoption? Adoption, now section 2 subclause 2 of the JJ Act, Juvenile Justice Act. Please kindly see that now. It means a process through which the adopted child is permanently separated from his biological parents and becomes the lawful child of his adoptive parents with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities that are attached to a biological child. So you all know that this you have learned in the first, second year College of Law. This is the definition where a child who is adopted acquires all the legal rights in the place of his parents, adoptive parents, and loses his legal rights from the original parent. Now next is, who is the probation officer? That is section, this is a section 248 of the JJ Act. This is also there under section 4.2 and 6.2 of the PO Act of 1958, old Act. Now let us see, probation officer means an officer appointed by the state government as a probation officer under the Protection Act, or a legal cum probation officer appointed by the state government under the District Child Protection Unit. So these are he's a welfare officer who is supposed to work for the welfare of children, namely for rehabilitation, taking care, providing amenities under the Act, all sorts of, he's a more or less a kind of a guardian. He discharges duties as a legal guardian. Okay. Then define a fit person. Definition of fit person you will find again under the Juvenile Justice Act, section 228. Fit person mean any person prepared to own the responsibility of a child for a specific purpose. Such person is identified as inquiry made on his behalf and recognized as a fit for the said purpose by the committee. So the committee decides who is a person who can receive and take care of a child. That you remember it, please. Then a specific home is defined under section 256 of the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act 2015. Means specific home means it's an institution established by the government or a voluntary or a non-governmental organization where a registered under 48 for housing, providing rehabilitative services to children in conflict with law who are found through inquiry to have committed an offense and are sent to such institution by an order of the court. So this is a place, this is in fact a privilege of a child under the JJ Act to have a special home, to be taken care of, shelter, clothing, food should be provided, education should be provided, everything at the cost of the state. Okay. Then the remaining question are write short note and any following search warrant that we have discussed under section 93, 94. Okay. Procedure for recording confession 164 via CRPC. Only a judicial magistrate can record confession under 164 and not a police officer. Okay, please note that. Yeah, verbatim it must be recorded, and now in cases of rape it must be videographed and everything that we are going through this. The next definition is victims compensation, that is section 357A CRPC provides for victims compensation when the court finds that here grave injustice, injury has been caused, incalculated to the victim, the accused person is directed to pay compensation. That provision please go through under section 357A. I won't be reading it here. Then compounding of offenses under section 320. That is, you know, what is the meaning of compounding of offenses? Where the offense is there's a difference between compounding offenses and a plea bargain. Please note that. Just for your information, I'm just giving you a small definition of yes, just which I had taken out. It's not there. It's not a dictionary meaning. Yes, yeah. The meaning of this compounding offenses mean these are those offenses where the complainant, that is a victim, enters into a compromise and agrees to have the charges drop against the accused person. You know that you under the plea bargain, the charges are not dropped. Now again here, the courts say that when the charges are dropped, it is considered as an order of acquittal. Whereas in a plea bargain, it is a conviction. The charges are reduced, the sentence is reduced, some compensation is paid. Now it is like a withdrawal of a civil case under order 23. Under 23, you can withdraw any cases. Whereas under section 320 CRPC, when you check it up, only the cases which are enumerated in the table, that cases like uttering words, bad words of religion, that under 298, causing hurt under 323, 334, minor offenses are compoundable. A very vast list is given. Please go through the list. And other types of offenses which can be compounded are with the permission of the court, where offenses are punishable up to 7 years. That you will find offenses like causing miscarriage, voluntarily causing hurt under 325, and offenses grievous hurt 325 with the permission of the court. But serious offenses like murder, rape, and dacoity, they cannot be compromised. Please note that trial will take place under this. Offenses such as under 401 cheating, they all can be compromised with the permission of the court. Kindly note that they are compoundable. Now, the next question is plea bargain. So we have gone through. We don't waste time. That is section 265A to L. Please go through. We already seen that. Then the trial of summon cases by magistrate, that we are discussed under section 251 to section 259. We won't be taking time. Then come to situational problem is very important. A is tried for an offense for an attempt to murder of B, punishable under section 307 IPC, and is acquitted. Okay. To which court an appeal shall lie against the order? Now, this trial took place before a court of sessions, isn't it? Attempt to murder under the scheme of the CRPC, it's a session tribal case. So when a conviction is recorded, an appeal lies. See here, appeal lies. He is not convicted. He is acquitted. Acquittal order appeal lies under section 378 1B. Please note that 378 1B. Then the next question is, can he prefer the appeal against the order? The answer is no, he cannot prefer. Who can prefer? Only the state government. Please open your section 378. I will discuss this with you again. CRPC खोल लीजिए. Only the state government can file the appeal through the public prosecutor. Okay. That too, a special leave is required under section 378 and B of the code. Please note that here. Then in other cases, this is a case of
So central government is also not allowed, sir?
Central government is also, if suppose if it is a case from the CBI, then the central government comes into play, because normally the prosecution is a state subject. Prosecution is state subject. Now section 378 खोलेंगे आप, उसमें लिखा गया है 378 में, if it is under the Delhi District Act, 378 खोले आपने, 378 में where the offences are from the Delhi Special Court Establishment constituted, there's CBI. Now CBI is constituted under the Delhi Special Public Establishment Act. Then it is the central government. Okay. Subsection 2 of section 78 provides that here, in case of acquittal, it is the CBI which filed the cases after obtaining the permission of the central government. In the case of state Maharashtra and other state, it is the state government through the public prosecutor. 378 1A and B check करो आप, that is the government. इसके अंदर in the phase of first, district magistrate will file. In the cases where the conviction is recorded by, acquittal is recorded by the magistrate, the matter will go to the court of sessions. From a complaint is filed by district magistrate through the public prosecutor. Now in the second case, the state government by public prosecutor, where the appeal goes to High Court. Now in your case here under 307, the answer is 378 1B. That means the state government will direct the public prosecutor to file an appeal in that case, provided it is a resulting in acquittal. Now the special leave is to be obtained. Kindly that subsection 4, 3 and 4 of this section, that is 378, speaks of special leave of the court to be taken. Without leave of the court, you cannot, because the court would like to be informed what is the necessity for filing an appeal, why you want to convict this man, why are you challenging the order of acquittal. They have to explain in 1 or 2 pages in your affidavit that it's a substantial question of law is involved. There is the miscarriage of justice, evidence is not correctly recorded. It should have been a matter for conviction and not acquittal. That your lordship may kindly be pleased to grant leave to the appellant to file the appeal. This must be filed. Now in other cases, this application for appeal should be filed within 6 months by the private people, and by the government 60 days time. 60 days time. Now in other private, these are the 307 is filed by the state. Now what happens to the private cases? Now in a private case, for example, under the Negotiable Instrument Act, you filed a complaint for dishonor of a check. So you filed a complaint under section 190, read with section 200 or defamation. That has been, your case is dismissed. That means the accused is acquitted. So when acquittal takes place in private cases, here from the magistrate case also, the matter doesn't go to sessions court, an appeal will go to the High Court. Please see that here under subsection subclause 5, 378 5A, an application would lie to the High Court where you should take permission. There, subsection 4, such an order of acquittal passed in the case instituted upon a complaint in the High Court application. So in the cases of acquittal, appeal will lie to the High Court directly and it will not travel to sessions court. In certain offenses which are enumerated under the act will go here. So bear in mind, special leave to be taken here. This will solve your problem. Anybody has any question, please ask me before I go.
Sir, recently the Maharashtra government said that the CBI cannot investigate in Maharashtra without the permission of the government.
That is under the that is under the provisions of the Delhi Special Public Establishment Act 1946. There's a provision, normally is a central government. Ours is a federal structure, our constitution, you know that. Ours is a unitary system. So each state is independent. They have got their own rights here. So under the scheme of the Constitution of India, the central government normally seeks the permission of the state government. So the state, you cannot impose upon the state government the views of the center totally, unless it's an emergency or it's a the dire necessity. In normal cases, you have to obtain the consent. Okay. When consent is normally not given by the state government, it doesn't mean that you have no right. They can move the Supreme Court and High Court under Article 226 and Article 126. In appropriate cases, the Constitutional Court can pass a direction. Please note that, yeah. But it is not mandatory that here they should be governed by the CBI Act, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
A consent must be taken. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next question. देख लीजिए आप. A is accused of an act which may amount to theft or receiving a stolen property or a criminal breach of trust or cheating. Very interesting. Then in the case mentioned, A is charged only with theft. It appears that he committed the offense of criminal breach of trust. Can he be convicted for criminal breach of trust? Does anybody know this answer? Let me know. Yes, he can be convicted. Please open section 221, illustration B. Open your section 221 में पढ़ी, हमने पढ़ा था last time आपको. Section 221, where it is doubtful what offenses has been committed. Now read this entire section. It is a single act, series of acts such nature. It is doubtful whether series of acts approved constitute allegedly so and so. Such act may be tried once and may be charged. In the alternative, committed so and so. In such cases, the accused is charged with one of which happened so and so. Now please see the illustration. Illustration in this case applicable is illustration B. In the case mentioned, A is only charged with theft. It appears that he committed the offense of criminal breach of trust, and the receiving stolen goods, he may be convicted for criminal breach of trust or conviction stolen goods. See, more or less the provisions of section 379, 380, 381 and 401 are more or less alike, you know. Just because the magistrate has omitted to frame a charge doesn't mean that he cannot. If there's a material before him, he can, without there being a specific charge, he can proceed with the trial and convict him. So your answer is falling under section 221, illustration B. Please mind it here. Then next question is, now in the case A is charged only with theft. It appears that he committed the offense for receiving stolen goods. Can he be convicted for stolen goods? Yes. So here the offense of charge is under 379. Stolen good will be coming under section 401, which is punishable here. Now, where there was a doubt in the mind of a magistrate, can he proceed or not? That doubt is clarified. Please see illustration A. Illustration A to section 221, 221. A is accused of an act which may amount to theft or receiving stolen property, criminal breach of cheating. He may be charged with theft, receiving stolen property, criminal breach of trust, cheating, or he may be charged having committed theft, receiving stolen property. Underline this word, receiving property or criminal breach of trust. Criminal breach of trust is an offense under section 403, 404, dishonest misappropriation. That is a appropriation, and the criminal breach of trust under 406 is punishable. So you can club maximum 3 charges. That is what the law is, that here. Your illustration B to section 221 2. Anybody has any doubt now so far? Please ask me.
Sir, Ashish here, sir. So if in this particular case, hypothetically, let's say there was a plea bargain arrangement going on, and only two out the 3 incidents were covered under the plea bargain, and subsequently the 3rd incident was discovered, would plea bargain cover that, or the person would be sentenced?
Yeah, if the matter goes for plea bargain, the accused has to agreeable to give the compensation, number 1. The compensation must be agreeable to the victim, and the judge must be satisfied with the fair amount. And he will say that instead of undergoing 7 years imprisonment, you undergo 1/4 imprisonment. Because there's a provision under the act, isn't it? 265, 1L mein, dekhen aapne. The court may also let him off on probation of good conduct if he is under the age of 21 years old. Isn't it? Or if he is
Yes,
a person holding good character. Okay?
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Next
you,
question aa jaiye. Yeah. See, A is accused of murder of B at a given time and a place. While framing the charge, will it be necessary to set out the manner A caused the murder of B? Is it necessary or not? Anybody knows?
No, sir, it's not necessary.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Any, you know the section and illustration? Can you give me?
Sir, I don't remember the sections,
Yeah,
but you don't
remember
have to
it. Now
exactly.
remember it. Section 213, section 213, illustration C. Section 213 says that when manner of committing offense must be stated, you are bound to state it. The court is required to mention. But there's the exemption here in the murder cases. Is C says, yeah. Sorry, C, it is E. Illustration E. A is accused of the murder of B at a given time and place. The charge need not state the manner in which A murdered B. So yesterday we learned that in cases where the charge is framed is under the provisions of for theft, the court need not record it. But whereas in case of a charge for cheating, clause B says, the illustration B, the particulars of cheating must be provided, isn't it here? And the D also states that here, in the case of obstructing the public servant, the particulars must be provided. So you please go through all the illustration A to E in section 213 for this answer. So here your answer is no, illustration E. Next question. A is accused of giving false evidence at a given time and place. While framing a charge, will it be necessary to set out the portion of evidence given to A which is alleged to be false? Anybody knows?
So they'll have to figure out whether it was actually false or not. They'll have to see out of the whole thing which part.
Yeah. The answer is in illustration C. Please see that. A is accused of section 213 ka illustration C. A is accused of giving false evidence at a given time and place. The charge must be set out the portion of evidence given by A which is alleged to have been false. So section 193 of the Indian Penal Code tells you what is a perjury, isn't it? And section 430 of the CRPC tells you what is the procedure with regard to commission of the offenses, how this is tried. Then section 197 tells you who can file the complaint. It is suppose if a perjury takes place in a civil court or a revenue court or before another court other than the criminal court, the complainant will be the civil court judge. So that you should know the provisions of section 197. Remember 197, section 430, 431, 432 mean offenses affecting the administration of justice. And 192 is very common. Okay, next is question number 4. Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah, when police officer may arrest without warrant, section 41 cover kiya, not necessary to mention. Security of good behavior from suspected persons and habitual offender, section 109 from suspects and section 110 from habitual offenders. CRPC. Please note it down. I won't read it. There's no time. Discuss the essentials of the charge. This we have discussed under 2111 all. Then when bail may be taken in cases of non-bailable offenses. Section 437 CRPC before a magistrate and section 439 session court as well as the high court. When bail may be taken, then state the powers of the court to release certain offenders on probation of good conduct, so and so. That is section 3 and 4 of the Probation of Offenders Act 1950. This we dealt yesterday very clearly. Next, state the constitution power of a child welfare committee with reference to Juvenile Justice Act. That is section 27 constitution of the committee. Please go through. And so far as the powers are concerned, section 29. Okay, please see this carefully. I won't be reading them. This we have dealt yesterday. We'll discussing with the committee. So this concludes this paper. The next paper I will try and wind up fatafat. Now the next paper is Mansi, that is a November 2016. Is that okay? मिल गया आपको?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Here, yeah. What is the meaning of in-camera proceedings? This we have discussed it, and again repeat it. The camera proceedings are conducted in private, in the absence of the public and the press. You know that? The essential course of a court proceeding is an open trial as envisaged under section 327 in CRPC. Okay? Normally, in serious offenses like murder, rape, or offenses against the crime, the courts are now, it is mandatory to hold a camera proceeding where the public and the press are kept out of the gaze of the proceeding. Okay? 327 पढ़ लीजिए आप CRPC. Then what is the meaning of inquest panchanama? This is important. I had explained to you. I'll again repeat it because this is a very important question. When any person dies, like Sushant Singh case, when any person dies due to result of a crime under suspicious circumstances, then the investigation officer has to draw inquest panchanama. This provision can be found in section 174 CRPC. This is unlike 154 where FIR inquest ke andar unnatural death, like a person hanging from the floor. So one inquest here to be done. Then agar police has made some mistake, then the magistrate will hold inquiry under section 176 CRPC. Please bear in mind. The next question is plea bargain. Sorry, what is the meaning of offense? This we have discussed, we won't discuss. Victim also we have discussed. Injury trial also we have discussed. The meaning of a compoundable offenses, section 320 right now we have discussed. The role of a public prosecutor in trial. Now please note that section 24 CRPC tells you when public is who are public officer, the public prosecutor. A public prosecutor is an officer of the court in the court in handling the in helping the administration of justice. Okay, in helping the administration justice, he represents the state. He represents the state or the central government, and he is required to help the court in finding out the facts of the case. He must be impartial, fair, and honest. He must not be concerned with the securing conviction. Please note that an ideal, and the Supreme Court said that an ideal public prosecutor consider himself to be an agent of justice. He is not interested in securing conviction. He helps the court. He is an officer of the court. That is the role is played by him. Next, please see the question. What is the meaning of a charge? This we are dealt under section 2B and section 211 onwards. Then the meaning of a probation officer, that we dealt under section 4.2 and 6.2 of the Act, isn't it? Then the next question is children's home. We are defined under section 219. Please write it down here. Then write short notes on any of the following. Maintenance of wife, children, and parent. That is section 125 CRPC. That we already discussed many times. Then next question, first information report, that is already discussed under section 154 where the complaint is lodged. The IO investigates, then if it doesn't take action, you go to superior officer. Under 153, if it doesn't take action, you go under 190 to the police or to the magistrate, who records evidence. Next, clubbing of charges. Next question is C, clubbing of charges, that is section 218 and 219, that is how the charges are clubbed together. Then, for example, charges like 379, 380, theft and commission of theft in a dwelling house, they can be clubbed together. Then section 220 can offenses like under 406, 431, criminal breach of trust and misappropriation can be clubbed together. So, maximum of 3 such charges can be clubbed together. There is no bar here. Then statement of a police officer under 161, yesterday we dealt with it. They need not be, they cannot, they need to be corroborated. That we learned it next time. Then plea bargain, though we had dealt under 165. Then right of a juvenile, we under Juvenile Justice Act, you know the entire act. Then what are the various rights? We know that here. Right to protection, right to have shelter, all basic constitutional amenities the right to clothing, well, toilets, necessity, and having an open shelter, foster home facilities. See section 30, 43, 44 of the JJ Act. That is very clean here. Then situational problem, please see that here. A police officer arrests X on suspicion that X has committed a non-bailable offense. Okay. How long X can be kept in police custody without the order? That is under section 57 CRPC. He cannot be kept for more than 24 hours. This is also mandated under article 22 subclause 2. In case custody is to be renewed, then he has to make an application under section 167 subclause 2, where there's a remand application where the magistrate extend the custody for up to 15 years. Okay, that is the provision. Can a court give a bail to X under which circumstances bail rejected? Yes, under section 436 in bailable cases, the police officer and the court grants it. Under 437 non-bailable offences, the magistrate grants it. Under 439, Sessions Court and High Court grants bail in non-bailable offences. Okay. Then when the bail can be rejected, the bail can be rejected by the court if the offence is of a very serious nature. Okay. The gravity of the offence is very high in nature. Then number two, that the accused person does not have roots in society, and it is likely that he will tamper with witnesses. He will tamper with it. He will not remain present in the court. These are the circumstances. It's a discretion, which is a judicious discretion exercised by the magistrate as well as the judges in the matter, that is kept left to them here. But normally the courts are liberal in granting them. But normally there is no bail provision in offense in an enactment like POSCO Act, under the National Security Act. The courts are stringent under the various Bokoka Act. These are very acts the court do not like to give. Serious offenses like murder, rape, and bombing take place, rioting take places, where the terrorist act takes place. Such cases the court normally do not give bail. Okay. Here stand rejected. Then next is A is an old father having a son who is offer fetching food salary. A has been driven out of the house and the son lives with his friend at his mercy. Can A claim maintenance from his son? What provision will be attracted? Now section 125 1D CRPC is attracted. Now the Senior Citizens Act is also passed by the state of government of India. Isn't it? Can be gone provided the person unable to maintain. Invoke it with. If son is ordered to pay maintenance by the court, but still he doesn't pay, what he can do? The remedy will be under section 125 subclause 3, where available warrant can be issued by the magistrate for enforcing the order. If he doesn't obey the order, he can be arrested. That is how the provision is. Then A and B are neighbors, and a water channel flows adjacent to the land of both of them. A obstructs water flow from his own use, depriving B of water. B does not have a home.